Hey, dear listener, and welcome to another episode of Deep Thoughts on SNL, a podcast for news and reviews and discussion relating to SNL. And we did it. We finally did it. We did a short episode. It doesn't drag on too much. It gets a little loopy, but you'll see. So I won't actually drag out this intro too much. My name is Rob Moden. With me today on the podcast are Leah Sueko and Matthew Smith, Matt Smith, however you want to refer to him. And today we're talking about the Lena Dunham episode, broadcast March 8th, 2014, episode 15 of season 39, I believe, musical guest The National. The sketch list is as follows. There's an Obama opening, Ukraine has been taken, featuring Liam Neeson. There's a monologue where people talk to Lena Dunham about their sex lives. There's a pre-recorded bit where a sing-along is interrupted by a GPS, a scandal parody, What Are You Even Doing? Featuring John Hamm. Biblical movie in the style of Girls. What's Poppin'? Weekend Update with Taron Killam as Matthew McConaughey and Vanessa Bayer, and the return of Fred Armisen as the best friends of a dictator. Jewelry Party, aka Men's Rights. Pimpin', aka The Cat Williams Show, Oscar edition. And a pre-recorded Good Neighbor sketch about Will Smith tickets. Then in the news, we get around to Brooklyn Nine-Nine being renewed, the American Comedy Award, and MTV Movie Award nominations, and Louis C.K. being announced as the next host. So we'll see you here again on March 29th, or just right after, whenever we get around to recording that podcast. And that's it. All right, I'll let you go. Enjoy the episode.
And now, Deep Thoughts.
What sketch do we want to talk about first?
I know my favorite sketch of the night. I'm not sure it's everybody else's favorite sketch of the night.
That sounds promising. Let's go with that.
I absolutely loved the What's Poppin' sketch.
That is a weird choice.
With the rap group, with Cecily and Lena and Michael. Really? The most I've liked Mike O'Brien in a long time. With his rapper name being Tim. What was the
rapper name? His real name is similar to white name.
Yeah.
Jerry?
Jerry was his
okay. Break it down now, girls. And Tim. The whole thing, there was just a great early 90s vibe that they just enacted with a bunch of white people.
My friend did tweet just the line, oh no, that's my flute amp, or something like that.
I kind of knew that would be the big line, and that one was the flute amp.
Flute amp.
By 80.
It just had...
I thought it was the way it ended, I thought was really bizarre and strange.
I didn't love the bookends. I mean, Kenan Thompson was involved, so let's call it what it is. But, I mean, in the middle, I just sat with a grin watching the whole thing.
Oh, the middle of the sketch, not the middle of the show.
I need Fred Armisen to put that out on vinyl.
Fred Armisen would have been great in that sketch.
Fred Armisen secretly wrote that sketch all week, during commercial breaks on late night.
He's too competent a musician. We needed Mike O'Brien to be involved in that thing.
Do you think Mike O'Brien's an actual drummer?
No. I don't even know if he's an actual person at this point. So.
Aww.
He's a bag of giggles as far as I can see, just stifled. The twist.
Kenan almost broke in that sketch, not Mike O'Brien. Matt, let's
like
not
guy.
Fight over Mike O'Brien. Let's unite against Kenan Thompson.
Well, yeah, that's a given.
Yeah, you're only allowed to hate so many people, so you have to pick carefully.
I don't hate anybody. I'm
Matt is lying through his teeth.
I'm a man of love. I'm a man of compassion. But there's people I strongly dislike.
We've met you. We know you.
I haven't met you. People.
Well, don't say that.
Oh.
We're trying to create an illusion for the 7 or so people who might end up listening to this.
What else was there in that sketch, at least specifically?
Their names. I like the names LaGod Williams and Lil Taint Anthony for the Keenan and Jay Farrow characters.
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
Just this one part where the song breaks down and goes, choo-choo, shaboosh, choo-choo, shaboosh. This is an example of great rap.
I'll be honest. I kind of tuned out halfway through this show. I started playing Starwall with my roommate, and then caught up on the sketches I missed this morning.
I watched it.
Starwall.
I watched it twice to try to pay attention to
You're
it.
a professional.
Yeah.
I thought it was a strong episode up until, I don't know, it fell apart somewhere near the end, but I was really enjoying it up until, it's probably that men's rights sketch where things started to come off the rails, but I enjoyed pretty much everything else. And the Good Neighbor sketch recovered near the end. But
that's true. The Good Neighbor sketch was maybe my favorite Good Neighbors they've done.
I think I still prefer the one where Kyle Mooney is they make the dance video for him, but this was probably the second best.
So probably like Beer Pong too. But anyway, they've been strong. They've been strong. Should we talk about the men's rights sketch for a second? Because I had problems with that.
It was a missed opportunity, really.
I'll just summarize what I said on the Facebook chat thing, which is that I want to get this out of the way, that the men's right movement is dumb. It's bad. It's awful. Mm-hmm. However, the show was not doing itself any favors in its noble attempt to pop that balloon by kind of simplifying the entire men's rights movement as people who got rejected when they were a teenager.
I think it's interesting. I think you finding a problem with that part is interesting.
Okay.
As a man, because you were probably like, well, when I was 18, I was rejected by a girl, and I think they should get equal pay. That was probably your train of thought. Where what
nice
I
subtle.
Thought,
I think that was a subtle insult. I don't know.
Where what I think was offensive about that sketch, or where they dropped the ball, is that Marisol, Cecily's character, she
are we pronouncing Cecily's name the same way that they did last week? Cecily.
She dumps him not because he doesn't respect women,
right?
But because he isn't attractive.
You're exactly right, which kind of validates at least the straw man argument that they came up with, that all men's rights activists, or whatever they would be called, are just mad about being rejected because they're not good looking enough. It was a weird sketch.
Yeah.
It wasn't well done, I don't think.
Yeah, as someone who was rejected by a girl as recently as yesterday, that's I don't want to be lumped in with that crowd. So,
well, it was also weird because I felt like they were like garnering sympathy for this man, because like he's like, I'll leave the car for you, and you're like, oh, that poor guy. Which I don't know why that should be what you take away from that sketch.
And it was simultaneously like, it was the straw man argument of, well, he got rejected and that's why he's turned to these extreme views. But also Mike O'Brien was portraying him as an incredibly regular guy who was actually kind of embarrassed, or at least wanting to hide his extremism. He like knew this wasn't something to talk about at the party.
I did enjoy saying, like, I only go to the rallies when the weather's nice. I'm kidding. It's only they go ahead, rain or shine.
Rain or shine. It was weird. Also, in
like
retrospect,
there was a lot of wrong-headed decisions in that sketch. He didn't seem like the right type. You needed someone who was more hateable, probably, in that role. You probably needed to delineate more clearly the actual arguments that these sort of people make in their
also, I'm not
red
sure,
pill Reddit groups.
I'm not sure that anti-Planned Parenthood is a men's right thing. Is it? I don't know.
In America, it's kind of lumped in.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it was just a weird, but it kind of like focused on as if that's the only thing, that and the equal pay is all that men's rights cares about, where it's just such a wide-ranging movement of complete weirdos that simplifying all their causes and motivations to what they did in the show didn't do them any favors.
Maybe we just didn't understand what they were trying to do.
Maybe we're horrible sexists. I mean, that's what we're...
Maybe we're on the wrong side of history, guys.
History will decide. This is what I'm expecting to hear anyway, if we generally comment that we didn't find Lena Dunham to be a great host.
Yes. We're all horrible.
She was okay.
Sexist human beings.
Great isn't the right word. Good, I would say.
You thought she was good?
I thought she was good, not great. I mean, the awkward bit is just part of who she is. So
I thought she was passable, and I thought her timing was really off.
Yeah, but I definitely thought she was game. It wasn't like someone who was trying to be distant from the material or anything. And they did play to her strengths in certain sketches. I mean, there was an open girls parody in the middle of the show. So,
which brought to mind all the reasons I find girls annoying. But Other than just being a horrible misogynistic person, but yeah.
Yeah, obviously.
You men's writer, you.
I know. This is what I'm expecting this podcast will do to my name online. Is label me as a men's rights advocate who hates girls because he's jealous of Lena Dunham's success or something like that. I don't know.
I can do whatever I want, and
I was talking.
My name won't come up in Google anyway.
Matthew Smith. Matt, before we actually started recording, me and Leah were kind of talking about it, that the AV Club's review of this episode even started out with just like a whole paragraph of, there are going to be some people who are angry about this episode, a very vocal minority, because they are afraid of Lena Dunham's success at such a young age and that she's an outspoken woman. But I mean, if you dislike the implication was like you're not allowed to dislike the episode unless you subscribe to those.
Yeah, I know she's very polarizing, but I mean, I've never actually seen an episode of Girls. This is the most time I've spent with Lena Dunham in my life.
And your fresh impression was?
I thought she was a little awkward, but I thought she was good in certain sketches and not so good in other ones. I mean, I thought her enthusiasm worked in the Scandal sketch. She was flubbing lines throughout the night, I noticed. Like, she'd trip on lines and have to go back and catch herself again, but I thought in general, like, I like that they gave her sketches where she got to be the funny one. She's not just there's a lot of times a host will come on and they'll just give them a straight man role in a sketch and let somebody else bounce off of them. But I thought she got a chance to be funny and succeeded most of the time.
That's fair. I think whether it was because it was live or because of her own comedic talent, and I would kind of sway towards the second one, she was kind of messing up lines through the night. I thought her timing was off and stuff, but she was passable. She was a lot better than I thought she would be.
She was a lot better than I thought she would be. I don't really think of her as an actress or a comedian. So
didn't she get nominated for Best Actress at the Emmys or something?
That doesn't. I mean, come on.
She was robbed. I assume. I don't know. I'm on the wrong side of history again.
No, it's kind of like when Tina Fey, who I love, kept winning, for 30 Rock. And to be fair, like, she was winning because she was also writing and producing, not because she was the best actress in a comedic performance. Mm-hmm. Because, let's be honest, like, her acting isn't the most amazing thing, even, when you put her up against other sitcom actresses.
So you're saying you haven't seen Admission?
I have.
Okay.
So you weren't blown away by her performance as well. Yeah. By the way, Tina Fey and Amy Poehler, two more talented women, outspoken women that clearly we hate because we're horribly jealous of them.
And that's what I don't get, is because, like, everyone's saying, oh, it's because she's young. Is she that young? Isn't she like 27, something like that?
She's 24.
I thought I read recently she was 26 or 27. And by Hollywood standards, she's almost past her expiration date.
But at the very least, she wrote her movie, that Tiny Furniture movie, I think when she was 21, and maybe she created Girls when she was 24? I recently read 24.
I do think she was 24 when Girls started.
Yeah, so 26 or 27 now makes sense. You're right.
But that's, I guess, like, early on success. But I don't know, to me, it's not like a standout thing in Hollywood. Most people, their careers are established by the time they're, 24.
Now, credit where it's due, going back to that biblical movie sketch, the production values were fantastic.
Looked very good, yeah.
Mm-hmm. It actually looked, most of the time, it looked like they were actually outside in like a real kind of foresty area.
We got a floating Vanessa Bayer head.
Mm-hmm. Love that impression, by the way. Zosia Mamet, she's, if Matt doesn't know, she's actually Shoshana. She's playing a character from Girls, and it's very accurate.
I know her as Peggy's friend on Mad Men.
Unlike Taron Killam and his Adam Driver impression.
You didn't like his Adam Driver impression?
His Adam Driver impression was a lot better in that small dose in the season premiere Girls sketch, but here it was just, oh, that's not in your wheelhouse. Not that one. No. He was amazing as Matthew McConaughey.
Killam he had like 17 impressions tonight, Killam, between Harrison Ford and McConaughey and the president from Scandal and Adam Driver.
Was the president from Scandal like an impression, or was he just kind of, like, I know that's a character, but was he actually trying to imitate the person, or was he just...
I assume so. I've never seen Scandal.
I feel like Beck and Jay were the only ones actually doing impersonations of their characters.
Okay.
I think everybody else was just being,
Is
in that
there
show.
Is there a guy on Scandal who has Beck Bennett's haircut from that sketch for real?
I have to assume so, because that was a
He's
crazy that haircut beard combo.
He's Hispanic. He's not white, so it doesn't look quite as goofy on him.
Here come angry columns Monday morning about how no Hispanic cast members.
Well, it's about time, don't you think? No?
Prepare the 6-month casting audition process.
It's gonna be a cast of 27 people next season.
Having not seen Scandal, that sketch was amusing, but I feel like there were at least certain parts that would have rung better for me if I had actually watched the show.
It felt like they were trying to walk a line of, okay, not everybody's going to have seen this show, so let's find a way to make it funny for them, which worked for me, to be honest, and then still not spoil things for people who aren't caught up. That's what I got worried about with Matthew McConaughey and Weekend Update. So is this going to be True Detective spoilers in here? Because I plan to catch up on that at some point.
That McConaughey impression, I think we all laughed because it's like, nope, Killen does not look like McConaughey. But as soon as he started talking, oh man, that was brilliantly written and done.
It was really good, but it did go a little long for me. Like, I don't think that it should have.
I could not get enough.
I was getting so bored with it.
I got sucked in, like, just those like tick 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 tick, and then he was like the tactile and like just the physical movements that went along with it.
All the movements and the little turns of phrases and the little rambling leaps of logic were just perfectly done. They were so good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's hard to make him look like Matthew McConaughey anyway. I'm not sure what you do to make.
I just would have assumed maybe a cast member with a thinner face, but
yeah, he got that because the rest of the impression he completely nailed. So.
Leah's laughing because he thinks I just said something horrible about Killen's an incredibly fit person. He just has like a wide skull. He's not fat. He's very fit.
Everyone take to the internet.
Didn't you see all the BuzzFeed articles? The BuzzFeed and Vulture articles about how he gained arms like in the summer, and then when the boys' dance party sketch came out and he was wearing a sleeveless shirt, everyone's like, "What's going on?" It happens.
That Kobe Smulders is a demanding mistress.
I would guess so, yeah.
Okay, so we were talking about Update with Killam as McConaughey, and then Vanessa Bayer and Fred Armisen showed up.
Because those were characters that we were waiting to see again, apparently.
I found them amusing enough sometimes. I don't know if it was worth bringing back Fred Armisen.
I feel like he's probably going to...
I thought Fred Armisen was really funny. I didn't think Vanessa Bayer was very funny.
I feel like Armisen's probably going to be in every second episode now because he just works downstairs.
I'm thinking the same thing.
He really
never went anywhere. He was just kidding. He came back and was like, "Just kidding, guys."
I'm not really looking forward to that. Him
Why
coming
not?
back. I don't know. Fred Armisen never really worked for me. Portlandia is very hit or miss to me.
Yeah, it is. I did like seeing him at the Good Nights, and he's so awkward. Like, he's such an awkward human being. It's delightful.
Any more Jost thoughts? Did we settle on a pronunciation for his name, Leah?
Like me and you as people, or like in actuality, his name?
It can be both. I'm pretty sure it can be both.
Colin Jost.
Colin Jost?
Yeah.
Really?
Can I just keep pronouncing it Ghost? Because that was really fun.
I decided his name is Calvin Ghost, so I think I'm sticking with that.
Yeah, I mean, he actually did a whole bit on people not knowing how to pronounce his name, so I don't feel like it really matters how we pronounce it, because he's
Why didn't he
used
do
to
that
it.
bit on the show? That seems like something he could have done at the beginning of Update, along with his incredibly sincere "thank you for being here," blah blah blah.
Did I watch last week? I don't know.
I don't know. Last week he had a very sincere intro where he was like, "Thank you for giving me the opportunity to be here," blah blah blah.
Who hosted last week?
Jim Parsons.
Oh yeah, I did watch that. I don't remember. I haven't been very
Clearly very memorable to you. We got your review.
I haven't been super... I feel like I shouldn't say anything about him, but I haven't been very impressed with him.
All right.
I think I find it like he seems very one note, and he hasn't even mastered that note yet. I can't really see him modulating and going to different modes like Cecily can right now, where she'll do the Scottish accents and sometimes you got to play a little character to get the joke across.
Well, I think like his timing isn't great. Like his delivery on things with the timing isn't. He kind of says everything the same way, so you don't even realize what the punchline was for what he's saying.
Yeah, the more I think, it just seems like a weird choice from the more I think about it, where they have 18 people in this cast now, which I think is the largest it's ever been. And I mean, they had 17 people that they could have chosen from to put in that spot, and they said, no, let's add another person to this show.
Yeah.
And where people are getting lost in the shuffle, where like John Milheiser's not even on the show this week.
I was going to say John Milheiser probably would have really appreciated that role.
Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying he'd be better or worse or anything, but it would be give exposure to some of the guys they're already not giving exposure to.
Yeah, I think it's kind of weird because he's not, like, he was never a performer on the show, and I think that shows as well.
But neither was Tina Fey.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
But that was
he doesn't listen. Like, even when you watch like his interactions with Matthew McConaughey, he's not listening to anything Matthew McConaughey.
It's his second episode. I mean,
that's true. And that's the other thing.
Tina Fey was not a strong anchor at first either. Like if they replayed like what her Women News or something, it was decently written, but it wasn't well performed. But then she grew into her own, and now she's one of the funniest people of all time.
Yeah, give it time. Give him time.
And ideally,
so what I'm saying, Colin Ghost, funniest person of all time, 2020.
2020?
That's where we're going.
That long?
I don't know how long before Tina Fey became a household name.
I don't think. How many years is that? I'm not good with the math.
6.
6 years?
It's only 6 years away.
20 minus 14? Really? Okay.
Anybody else a Liam Neeson fan who was kind of disappointed that they didn't take his cameo very far whatsoever?
I really liked it when I watched it live, and then I watched it again, and it's like, oh, I don't really like this as much as I thought I did.
It kind of went it was a nice surprise when he popped up, but then it went the exact route that you would expect, where he basically said the Taken speech.
I kind of enjoyed the Obama video that came afterwards. I feel like they've been searching for a funny angle to take on Obama forever now, and that was one of the better ones I think they've done. But
was that really an angle on Obama, or was that an angle on?
Yeah, I mean, that's a valid point too. It was just they could have put anybody in there. That could have been Biden, and it would have been hysterical. But
they need a new Biden now that Sudeikis is gone. So who could take over Biden?
Kill him.
Kill him.
Probably. Yeah, that makes sense. They need a new. I miss Sudeikis' Biden now. At the time, I didn't realize how much I loved it until it was gone.
Yeah.
Scott Aukerman tweeted, House of Cards becomes really, really funny if you just imagine that it's Joe Biden as the star doing everything.
I read that too, yeah, and he's very, very right.
There was Oh, go ahead, Leah.
I haven't seen a Liam Neeson movie since...
Lego movie?
No.
Taken?
Lego movie?
I've never seen Taken. I haven't seen Lego movie.
Those are both good.
A-Team?
A-Team was not that good.
I guess A-Team would be the last Liam Neeson movie.
I actually enjoyed A-Team.
I liked
Patrick
The
Wilson
Losers
is really good
more.
in that movie.
I swear we talked about this last week, but basically the climactic sequence with the 3-card Monty with the shipping containers in A-Team, that amused me, but everything else was meh.
With the John Hamm cameo at the end. Speaking of which...
Oh, yeah, there you go. John Hamm.
Segway.
What are you even doing? Which I actually found kind of amusing, just because it did tap into something about that I kind of remember from middle school, that just the way people speak about everything is so crazy, and you're acting so crazy and insane right now. It did hit something.
Kind of like that Ew sketch that they do on Fallon, where...
But much less annoying.
Yeah, much less annoying.
I get way too excited for any cameo that comes along, and I was just jumping up and down.
Trademark, Deep Thoughts, trademark, cameo.
Oh, I've embroidered that onto sweaters at this point. Don't worry.
We're making T-shirts.
There's TMs up in the corner. Don't worry.
There you
go. It was just his facial expressions, his like being very concerned that he got booked on this show, and he thought
his
it was a Chris
half-hearted
Hansen thing.
smile at the flirting segment, and then just like burying his head in his hands. Moynihan, I love Moynihan. Is that Josh Hamm?
Yeah.
Every single thing Moynihan did in that sketch was amazing. Like right from the very beginning, where he just sort of like shrugs and his eyes roll back in his head.
Oh yeah, it's so
playing
crazy.
The video game.
It's so crazy.
Yeah, he just every time they cut to him, he did something hilarious.
Yeah, when I love the look he gave him when she was like, "What if we did have sex right now?" Just like slowly turns and looks at him. I thought it was Nassim. I really think she hangs out with a bunch of 13-year-olds.
She nails the pattern.
She does.
It's the only part she's really playing.
She's been boxed into like only that as her role that she can play.
But she's so good at it.
Makes it weirder that they're
Is
filming
she playing a
Mulaney.
13-year-old on Mulaney?
No, but they're filming Mulaney right now. They're on like episode 6 next week. They're filming it in off weeks to help her schedule. I'm wondering why she's sticking around at this point, like of her own volition, because I don't feel like she's being used well.
2 paychecks.
I don't know that she can be used well because she's only doing one skit every episode.
They're only allowing her to. She's like amazing in everything they give her. But for some reason, she's not getting roles. I don't understand. There was also the monologue about people talking to Dunham about their sex lives, which was pretty predictable once it started. Although Kate McKinnon had some great lines as the grandmother.
Did she? I didn't.
There was
notice.
Back in my day, only the cool girls would go to third base.
Oh, yeah.
And I was cool as hell, or something like that.
They could have called me the third base coach.
I pass. I was
And then the sing-along
Booty is
constantly interrupted by the GPS.
I did actually really
that's
like that one. I think that was my favorite of the night.
Actually, I didn't even realize until she said it out loud, but the detail that it was constantly only interrupting Lena Dunham was kind of funny.
How did you not notice that?
I just thought it was
Seriously?
interrupting everybody.
I was to say, it's very much a one-note premise, and you could see exactly where it was going, and it was just going to keep cutting every time she talked, and it was eventually going to get to that point where she tries to say one syllable and it cuts her off. And I still enjoyed it, and then the button that they put on the end was just mind-blowing.
I agree.
Great. All right, Cat Williams show. What? Okay, did we figure out the mystery? Why has Cat Williams been impersonated twice by 2 different people in SNL in 2 months?
I think the reasoning would be that at the beginning of the sketch, he says that he's a crazy black guy that white people don't know. So there's a very good chance that he is very significant right now, and we just don't know about it.
Oh, that is... Oh, now I realize what you're saying by that. Okay.
I was kind of... When I watched it the second time, I was like, oh, I guess it's not for the whiteys. That's why we don't get it.
I DVR 106th and Park every day, so I'm kind of up on that. But
Does he have his own show right now? I thought he was just like a stand-up from the 90s.
I thought so too, but there's so many TV channels
From
these
the
days.
90s, really?
Isn't he from
But
the 90s?
Well,
Am I mistaking him for Andre 3000? He's always dressed like Andre 3000 from the Hey Ya video.
well, I know, like, what was it? Like a year ago, he was acting really erratic, and he was in the news a lot because he kept getting arrested. But as far as, like, this year goes, I haven't heard anything about him, so I don't really understand the resurgence of Cat Williams.
Just that they had Drake and Jay Pharoah play him on almost back-to-back months. Actually, the Drake episode is being repeated next week, so that'll be 2 weeks back-to-back with Cat Williams impressions.
And I didn't like Jay Pharoah's impression.
Well, wait until you see Louis C.K.'s version.
I'm actually going really cold on Jay Pharoah, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah, he seems so angry all the time, and it's getting to me. His eyes are so angry.
I'm still of the opinion that he totally grew into an actual cast member this year instead of just a mercenary impression guy.
Which I agree. I mean, he's obviously in a lot of sketches. I just, like, I don't know. He just seems so angry, and I just want to drink tea with him and ask him what's going on with him, you know?
Can we make that happen? Special video podcast?
He seems really upset. That's all I'm saying.
I think a lot of them are upset about their screen time right now. I mean, he doesn't have as much reason as some of them, but I'm
he
sure...
shouldn't say anything. He wanted another cast member.
That's very true.
You brought it on yourself, Jay.
I think Jay Pharoah's time has probably increased since the shooter showed up. Because they've been doing all those... they've been doing a bunch of sketches with multiple black cast members.
Yeah. She actually got a chance... Like, with the Scandal sketch, she actually got a chance to, like... Not necessarily lead a sketch. It was still mostly built around Lena, but... It was a chance for, like, a bit more of a showcase than she's gotten since she started.
Actually, I kind of wonder now, do you think that Scandal sketch has been, like, sitting around, at least in a writer's head, for, like, weeks and weeks and months until they finally got a black cast member, or a black female cast member, or a black female host to play the head of Scandal?
Yes.
No.
All right, there you go. All right, well, we have differing opinions. This is the Differing Opinions podcast.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is, Matt.
One person yes, one person no. We let America decide. Thank you. And then finally, the Good Neighbor sketch.
I don't know if I saw the Good Neighbor sketch. What is
it was Kyle
Will
Mooney and Beck Bennett wanted to get tickets for a Will Smith concert from, and they were signing Brooks Wheelan up for their email list, but they constantly got frustrated that he never responded to their never-ending emails, and then it ended with Brooks showing up in an outfit that was not color coordinated as they had agreed upon in their emails to avoid gang colors. And
no gang colors and no logos in case cameras were there to get some
we want to be safe about
copyright free.
Yep. And then Will Smith, they realize, has not toured in years, and therefore they actually didn't they find a flyer that was actually for like guitar lessons from this other black guy?
No, it was a white man on the poster.
Was it a white man?
Brooks points it out. Like, this is a white man. And he's like, I hate you guys. I was like, yeah, we don't like you very much either.
Look, either I'm very racist tonight, or I was just tuning in and out of the show. I don't know.
Very racist tonight.
That's
Why
kind of
narrow it
like
down?
when Brian just randomly says girls' names that are in sketches that aren't in sketches.
Oh, we can't tell the girls apart?
Yeah, he can't tell the girls apart at all.
By the way, was McKinnon in the Men's Rights Jewelry Party sketch?
She was not, no.
She wasn't.
She was like the only girl who was not. But I was just doing the point tallies. And I was
Noel
making
Wells
sure.
wasn't there either. She got
the
one
scene.
moment. It was a great moment, but she got one
She
moment.
got 2 moments. I can specifically cite them later. But, yeah.
Not now.
No.
Later.
Well, I liked
Wait
her
until the
Lena
point
Dunham
segment.
impression.
Yes. Anything else to talk about? I didn't pay attention to the National whatsoever.
I learned that I can play an instrument based off of the Nationals.
Oh, yeah, that
Technique.
part. Wait,
When they
do you mean the
slam
part?
the guitar into
Yeah,
the ground.
was it a guitar or a bass? But he had one guitar on him, and then he took another guitar or bass and just, in rhythm with the music, pushed it down on the floor.
Yes.
That's a
And
valid musical
I
technique.
was watching him, like, when he grabbed it, I was like, what are you doing with that guitar?
If that's
I thought
not
he
a
was
gif
going to
on-
switch.
If that's
but
not a GIF on BuzzFeed already, I don't understand.
I like how they have 7 members in their band, and they still need a guy who's already holding a guitar to do that, to get that sound out of it.
I was thinking, holy shit, I could join a band. I was
Do you-
really excited.
Do you think that was a genuine sound coming out of it, that it was mic'd for, or he was just doing along to a backing track? Because I don't know what kind of sound could possibly come out of that.
It was making
I could
like
hear it. There was definitely a sound coming when we hit it.
Yeah. It was
Would that
making-
actually happen if you slammed a bass on the ground, though?
Yeah.
We can
Yeah,
find
that's it.
out. It's going to be a thing.
We should just do a Mythbusters spin-off solely for stuff that happens on SNL that we don't think is physically possible.
Oh, Donald.
Should we move on to points?
Points.
Points. Dun, da, da, da. So, any guesses who was in first?
Nope.
Ignoring
I know
that
for a fact.
I just realized I already told you before we started recording, and I let you see the points tallies. So,
80 Bryant.
Incorrect.
We're not going
Same.
alphabetically, I see.
Leah is going to be upset
I'm not. I'm fine. I'm losing. Whatever.
with Keenan Thompson coming in
Fine.
at 27 points.
I know. I was surprised by that.
That's low for him.
He doesn't seem like a Lena Dunham type person.
He can
To be
sing
fair.
that Ooh Child song pretty good, though.
Are you calling him a misogynist?
No, I'm saying she's very awkward, and I think you have to put people who play into that.
We will say, if one thing we will give Keenan Thompson, he is not awkward. He is overly confident, if anything.
He's got some swagger.
He has swagger.
First place, Taran Killam, 85 points. Almost entirely pushed ahead because of 20 points of full frontal nudity in the Bible movie.
I think he sang twice.
Yep.
I think he did the nudity. He did a bunch of impressions.
Yep.
I mean, he was in almost every sketch, it seems like. He was
Yeah.
on Weekend Update. I mean,
But this part will surprise Leah because second place, Jay Farrow, 70 points.
It doesn't surprise me. He was in a bunch of the sketches.
Oh, I thought you were saying that he was not that much.
No, I'm concerned about him because he seems awfully angry, and I just want to know why. I want to have a heart-to-heart with him. Go back and watch his eyes. Look at the anger that's going on in those eyes, and you want to talk to him.
You sound really racist right now.
Do I?
Yeah.
Deeply. I'm ashamed.
Man, I agree.
If I had
angry
seen...
eyes,
Who
apparently.
doesn't look angry then? Why don't we assess the emotional states of the entire SNL cast, except
By
John
race.
Milheiser?
Let's do it by race. Just to make it easier, let's do it by race. Go ahead, Leah.
John Milheiser, he seemed pretty happy.
You've forgotten his name. He hasn't been on the show in so long. You've forgotten his name.
He's the Invisible Man. I should probably talk to him as well and make sure he's okay.
You called him John Milheiser.
What's his name?
Milheiser.
It's not important. I mean,
Oh,
Throwing ends around.
Third place, Cecily Strong, 55 points. Fourth place, Vanessa Bayer, 50 points. Then Kenan Thompson, 27 points. 80 Bryant, 25 points. Kate McKinnon, 25 points. Pretty low for her. Bobby Moynihan, 15 points. Nassim Pedrad, 10 points. Sadly, normal for her.
I don't think we can allow you to criticize the pronunciation of her pronunciation of John Milheiser if you're going to call her Vanessa Bayer.
Is it Bayer or Bayer? I go back
Bayer.
and forth
It's
every
Bear.
week. It's Bear?
It's Bear.
Like the animal?
Like the painkiller?
What?
You know, Bayer, B-A-Y-E-R. Commercials during The Price is Right.
No.
yes.
The thing.
What's The Price is Right?
What?
Oh, you're so young.
I was playing that card, but I have honestly never heard of that product. Anyway, I'm sure they're great.
Really?
Please sponsor
Are you
us.
serious?
Bayer
It's like aspirin,
painkillers?
Tylenol.
I just brought them on as a
Bayer?
sponsor for this podcast.
I have no idea what those are.
Bayer.
I've never seen
Shit.
that in a store
When your
before.
shit's all wrong, take a Bear. Bear.
What?
I had to do a plug. That's they paid for.
Tylenol, Advil, aspirin. These are all actual
Ooh, those
things.
ones. Go with Bear.
Go with Bear. It's the bee's
yeah, you're a
knees.
company woman. That's what I like to hear.
For when you have headaches from arguing on comment sections about whether Lena Dunham's funny, or if Jay Farrow is an angry black man.
Well, at least we're covering all of our bases with sexism and racism, and what else can we throw in there?
Deep Thoughts After Dark.
Ageism. I'm pretty sure
Ageism
Rob's
already
got some.
happened with the
Yeah.
30-year-old call out there.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that Lena Dunham is so young that we're all insanely jealous of her.
Yeah.
Classism. How much money does everybody make?
I get paid in seashells. Is that weird?
Brooks Wheelan, 20 points. Beck Bennett, 15. Mike O'Brien, 15. Sashir Zameda, 12. Kyle Mooney, 10. Noah Wells, 10. John Milheiser, 0. Brooks Wheelan came out first for maybe the first time out of all the features.
I think the first episode he probably... Because I remember he was naked in that one, and he was in like 4 sketches that night.
Oh yeah, he was Uncle Sam in the Miley Cyrus one. I remember that being a big moment for him.
Yeah. So he had a big night, his first night, but then it sort of died off from there. So I think tonight was his big rebound night.
Oh, and I missed Kevin. Kevin from the league gets 85 points for drafting Lena Dunham.
Yes, that's right.
And Mark gets 2 points for John Hamm.
2 points.
Yep. Leah's
Does anybody
giggling about something that she won't tell us about.
Doesn't everybody who was in that sketch also get bonus points for being in a sketch with a former host?
I did add those, yep.
You got that? Okay.
Yep. Oh,
Not that it benefits me at all.
What? You
I
did
did-
not give me points.
What?
What?
I gave it was given to the cast members. I think I gave the cast members extra points for appearing alongside Ham, a former host. I think I did. I definitely gave Cecily Strong and Vanessa Bayer points for appearing alongside Fred Armisen.
Did you give Nassim?
Oh, former cast member, right?
points?
Yep. I think 10. Okay,
Leah's
give
points
me
are
a second to
meaningless
open it
anyway.
Yeah, that's true. I'm just going to donate all of my points at the end of the season
up. To the children?
to the homeless children.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
We're gonna
Not
start-
just
orphans?
not just the children in general. That would be too many, but the homeless children.
We'll
the
bring in the
Dickensian orphan.
giant check and watch their faces crumble as they realize what's written on it.
Oh, I see now how this was misleading. Sorry, children.
But you're going to get a huge leg up next season. I mean, the points don't carry over, but the confidence boost. Come on.
So I forgot to give points for appearing alongside Ham. So I think that's Mooney and Pedrad and Moynihan.
Yay, more points for Russell. Yay.
And Lena, actually. Lena Dunham. They all get points for appearing alongside Ham. I'm not going to add up those the extra points right now. That's too much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Can we talk about what a crime it is that John Hamm hasn't hosted in like 3 seasons?
It's kind of weird.
That's why
He's shown up all of those
next
seasons.
year.
I don't think he has the week to do the rehearsals or anything.
I think they're full on in Mad Men final season right now. Actually, and are they filming the entire 2-part season a la Breaking Bad? But they're filming it in one go.
The first 7 are already in the can, and they're taking a little break, and then they're going to do the next 7 like very soon.
Oh, I thought they were doing it right now because they film in New York, right? That's how he was able to be on 30 Rock and SNL so often.
I think they film in LA, like pretty much most others do, but I'm sure there's some location shooting that goes on there. But
I thought they shared like it was like a Staten Island or a Queens soundstage with 30 Rock.
I think the first season they did, and I think they moved to Los Angeles.
Rich Summer was just on
I want to say that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he was just on Doug Loves Movies, wasn't he?
Yeah, so he was talking about the breakup in the schedule and how they're going to do the back 7 and then sit on them for a full year and fuck you AMC and that sort of thing.
Oh, okay.
I'm very bitter about that.
Yeah.
I'm okay.
Mad Men.
News! Kind of a slow news week. So, first of all, announced on air, Louis C.K. hosting on the 29th. We're all very happy about it.
Woo!
We love Louis C.K.
I'm assuming host a musical guest Louis C.K. because there was just the one name. So
I think officially it's TBD. I think it's TBD.
But just picture it. Just picture it for a minute.
Now, hold on. It went into people. When you said this in the Facebook chat, people understood it differently. Are you suggesting that he do stand-up sets during the musical guest slots, or are you actually suggesting he plays music?
I'm suggesting he goes up there with a tambourine.
Yep.
Maybe a bit of a backing band. He could do the "Who Are You" because he's nailed that on an episode of Louis once.
Oh, that's true. Singing along in the car with his daughters.
Mm-hmm. And then.
Anyway.
Something from the American Hustle soundtrack.
But he was, we all loved his episode, right? Lincoln?
I loved the Lincoln sketch. I don't remember enjoying the rest of the episode all that much.
I remember enjoying the rest of the episode. I can't really remember anything. Except that awful one where, like, he was playing that horn for, like, that ancient tribe, and they were all annoyed with him for playing the emergency horn or something.
I seem to remember that being like what I was talking about with Lena Dunham earlier, where he was just used as a straight man for most of the sketches that night.
I think he actually went on Fallon that week, and he was asking Fallon, like, half seriously, so what do I do if I think a sketch is terrible and I don't want it on the show? And I think he was referring to that horn sketch. He seemed uncomfortable throughout. But anyway, we're excited.
Oh, yeah. He's the monologue alone will be worth it.
Yep. Leah said nothing?
Correct.
What were you giggling about?
I don't know.
Moving on. Brooklyn Nine-Nine renewed for season 2.
Yay!
Yay! Great show.
I hate it.
What?
Pourquoi?
Do you actually?
No, of course not. I think it's a great show.
Oh my god.
I never know with any of you anymore.
I had a heart attack. How could anyone possibly hate Brooklyn Nine-Nine? It's so delightful and whimsical and light.
I like how you still feel like somebody has said that they don't like it.
And Andy Samberg's a big barrier to entry for a lot of people. I know that.
Really?
Yeah. A lot of people can't stand him. I'm a fan. Hot Rod is one of the most underrated comedies of the past decade for my money.
Fantastic. Digital short, the movie, basically. But, I mean, I was surprised that apparently, if I remember correctly, we're 19 episodes into the first season, and there's like 3 episodes left before the finale. But it feels like we're like barely halfway through the season. It's so like breezy and delightful.
Yeah, I really like how they started forging the relationships. Like they built a backstory between Jake and Gina, Chelsea Peretti's character.
Based on the real life
I did really
one.
like that. Mm-hmm.
And although we fought on the Facebook chat about whether or not, or I think you guys fought, you two specifically, about whether or not Jake and Amy are have any chemistry whatsoever or not.
And I say the opposite of whatever it was you said.
Go podcast. Go.
Amy is the uptight one, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't.
Adorable, uptight one.
I'm just tired of. You don't always have to have a love interest introduced on a show, and I think the show's so strong that I think it's to the detriment of it to be introducing like a love interest between the two of them.
I actually kind of like that plot line more than, say, her never-ending obsession with sucking up to Holt.
I don't care for her character in general. So
Really? She
In
was
general,
one of my
I
early
really
favorites.
like her. I really like her.
no,
She was one of my favorite characters out of the gate, and it keeps shifting. I think Holt is risen to the top.
You hate Britta on Community. and she's
I
kind of
don't
a Britta-ish.
hate Britta. I don't hate Britta.
She
I
feels
You're a
like a
hater of women.
Britta-ish.
It's just like I
You
don't.
go to men's rights rallies.
Rain or shine. Rain or shine.
Rain or shine. Well, it's kind of mandatory, but no, just because I'm not fond of characters doesn't mean I don't know. Leave me alone. I don't want to defend my choice.
That you hate women and black people is what you're saying.
You applauded when Troy left the show.
I don't.
I could hear you all the way up here.
Ugh. What a oy vey.
Oy vey? Is that you trying to make fun of Jewish people now, too?
Oh my god.
How do you know I'm not Jewish?
Your life has become a piece of performance art.
That's true.
She's the Shia LaBeouf
Fact.
of the SNL League.
I was
I'm
wondering why
just
she was.
copying Shia LaBeouf.
I wonder what that crinkling paper bag sound was.
But I enjoy where Brooklyn Nine-Nine's going. I want opinions on this. Where do you think they're going with the Boyle-Rosa thing? Do you think he's actually
I
completely...
like the Boyle-Rosa thing more than the Jake and Amy.
I kind of like that they've had him fall almost completely for another person that he's going to marry and maybe brush aside his Rose obsession forever.
Yeah, I was wondering if that was...
because they introduced the fact that he was the one who actually didn't invite Rosa.
Yeah, but I feel like that can last for the rest of the season. But I mean, if he marries her, where are they going to go with that?
It's not going to marry her.
I felt like it was them trying to sweep away that early storyline thread where it looked like that was going to be a long-term thing and decided it would work better going in a different direction with it. And it was a way of just tying off that story unless something happens at their wedding that's a big drama. Yeah,
Which doesn't seem in line for the show.
Yeah, I think they were trying, especially when they're trying to push Jake and Amy at the same time. It feels like, okay, we can't have 4 of our 7 core cast members doing this. So
I will agree with Leah, at least when it comes to Jake and Amy. I don't like that they have to play the jealousy card where Amy has a new guy now, and now Jake's going to be annoyed about it for like a few episodes, and maybe he'll get it resolved in the finale. But that's not something I'm looking for.
Yeah, that's well-trodden ground.
That's my main issue with it. It's the first season. You guys were doing really well with just like having playful banter, and you're like, oh, they do actually kind of like each other. Like, just be cool about it. Let it go into the second season. Don't start all the jealousy, mumbo jumbo, boring poop.
There's far too much poop on that show.
It's disgusting. It's like the Shawshank Redemption up in there.
I don't know how they get it past the censors, to be honest.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of which, hold on. This is a completely off topic, but has anybody watched Hannibal?
I want so very. I've heard many things.
I was tuning around, and I saw the opening for this season, which was a bunch of people with like their flesh sewn together in like kind of like.
What does that mean?
Not like Human Centipede, but like this guy woke up in a pile of bodies with his flesh sewn to the next person's flesh, and then we watched as he was like trying to rip his way out of like this tangled web of human flesh. And, like, his flesh was ripping off his body because it was tied down to these masses of people.
What?
How does this get on television?
What channel is that on?
That's NBC.
No, there's no way.
And then I read an article when I went looking for, like, what the fuck was that I just watched? And it was just, like, they referred to it as a human beehive. And then apparently later in this season, there's, like, a person who, I don't know, they're on screen, they're going to open up his chest and then some birds are going to fly out, and it's like all this weird, creepy, gothic stuff. I don't know how it makes it on television.
Is that something I should, like, add to my list of things to be scared is going to happen to me?
I'm going to find, I think it was an Entertainment Weekly article about, like, all the different ways that Brian Fuller, who did, Pushing Daisies and whatnot, all the horribly grotesque ways that he is pitching to NBC to have people die.
Really?
I read the phrase totem pole of decomposed bodies.
I don't know if I want to watch this show now.
And I've heard nothing but great things, but then I try to watch 2 minutes of it, and it's horrifying.
I don't like that.
You should have seen the expression of shock that came over my face as you described that beehive scenario.
Yeah, just where it was just like these thick threads sewn into the side of his abdomen attached to like somebody's shoulder or something.
Stop! Ugh.
Why would you sign up for that?
MTV Movie Awards!
Yay!
Who watches that?
I
Me
probably
now.
will now that Conan O'Brien is hosting.
Which still seems like an odd choice. He'll
Yeah.
be 51, I think, at the time of the award show.
But let's lump this in with actually American Comedy Awards. Bunch of nominees for comedy, which you don't usually see. So, MTV Movie Awards. Anchorman 2 is up for Best Fight, Best Cameos for Tina Fey and Amy Poehler, Best WTF Moment for the RV Crash, and then for American Comedy Awards, it's nominated for Film, for Actor for Farrell, for Actress for Kristen Wiig, for... There might have been a writing or something in there. Anyway.
Good for it.
Yeah.
I think we talked about it last week where I saw the movie and enjoyed it, not as much as the first one, and then I barely thought about it like the days afterwards, and it's like, oh, yeah, that's right, Anchorman 2 came out.
That's true. I'll just power through the rest of these nominees, actually. So, MTV Movie Awards. Jason Sudeikis in We're the Millers for Best Comedic Performance. Robert Downey Jr. in Iron Man 3 for Best Hero. And then American Comedy Awards. Best Supporting Actor in a Film, Will Forte for Nebraska, which is apparently a comedy? I don't know.
I think that's weird.
It seemed like a comedy to me more so than comedic drama.
I guess it's Alexander Payne, right? So it is always kind of a dramedy.
I laughed a lot.
Film actress Julia Louis-Dreyfus for Enough Said. Kristen Wiig for Secret Life of Walter Mitty, a terrible movie. Comedy series Brooklyn Nine-Nine, Veep, Parks and Rec, SNL. Alt comedy series Portlandian, Archer. They all have SNL connections at least. And then Late Night, Conan, Fallon, Colbert. Those are SNL related people. TV actor Armisen for Portlandia, Sandberg for Brooklyn Nine-Nine. TV actress Louis Dreyfus for Veep, Poehler for Parks and Rec. TV supporting actor Bill Hader for SNL. And then there's a Parks nomination for Ansari, and then a Veep nomination for Tony Hale. TV supporting actress Vanessa Bayer and Kate McKinnon for SNL. Peretti for Brooklyn Plaza for Parks. TV writing Colbert, Parks and Rec. TV directing Parks and Rec. Comedy special Sarah Silverman's We Are Miracles. And viral video Britannic Sexy Pool Party, which had the Nathan Fillion cameo, and they've been helping Good Neighbors out editing shorts this year.
Those are a lot of funny people.
A lot of funny people. It was a good year.
I was skimming, the America's. This is different from the comedy awards that Comedy Central launched a few years ago, right?
As far as I'm aware, yeah.
This is them, the American Comedy Awards, and I believe it's NBC who resurrected it. So, again, Community gets no love from NBC itself, but yeah, I remember skimming the nominees. It's like, actually, this is like a decent list. There was no Big Bang Theory to be found anywhere, as far as I recall.
And there's a bunch of stuff in there that doesn't have SNL relationships, or doesn't have a relation to SNL, but it's still great, like Key and Peele and plenty of others.
The World's End.
The World's End. So glad it's getting nominated for anything.
Lake Bell for In a World, which I didn't love as a movie, but I like Lake Bell getting nominated for stuff.
I really like that movie, actually.
Yeah?
I really that movie got a lot of attention. I know there's a lot of people who are upset that it didn't get any Oscar nominations.
I don't know if it's Oscar or maybe original screenplay, but I mean, I think it was kind of high profile in the podcast scene that we listened to because of Lake Bell's Children's Hospital connections. But
yeah,
I feel like it came and go to the general public. But still, lots of cool nominees.
Louis C.K. for American Hustle was one of my personal favorites.
Mm-hmm.
I think they should have given it to Bradley Cooper for his
the impression
Louis C.K.
alone.
impression. Just instead of whatever his actual character's name was, just write in Louis C.K. impression, supporting role, American Hustle.
Best impression would be a decent category, I suppose.
That would be good, actually. Bring in SNL, bring in Bradley
Key and
Cooper, Key and Peele.
And we keep going.
Nope. This entire segment has been me like trying to list off things off the top of my head and then falling short. Did you catch when I said Key and Peele and many others?
How Children's Hospital not get nominated for alternative comedy series? What's that about?
Has it aired in the last year?
Definitely.
Okay.
Definitely.
Okay.
I guess the other shows deserve to be there.
I feel like it wasn't as strong this year. The Japanese set
The
stuff.
Japanese season, yeah.
I like that in this episode where we keep on running into Rays, we just refer to as the Japanese season.
It's okay. You guys have a pass. I'm not offended.
We won't even explain why we refer to it as the Japanese season. We'll just keep moving on.
If you didn't watch it in the first place, you're a fool. So you deserve to have it explained.
I didn't see it.
My point stands.
I saw the first season.
The first TV season or the web series?
The web series.
That was not probably a good portion of your time spent.
Which is why I have not seen any more.
It got amazing once it went to TV
awful.
proper. It got great when it went to TV.
Likely
Yeah.
story.
Okay.
Likely because it's true. The most likely thing of all.
As they say, fiction is stranger than truth.
If that's what they say, I don't think they put the words in that order.
Yep. Anything
God
else to
damn.
talk about on the actual episode?
We covered every
news.
sketch.
Or the news?
Oh, I don't like Lena Dunham's tongue.
I'm glad somebody finally spoke out about that.
No, she.
For too long, her tongue has been given a free pass because it's the daughter of famous tongues in Hollywood.
No, it was. Did it annoy nobody else? No, that was just me.
I
huh?
never, for 1 second,
Go back
thought
and just
about
watch
her
her
tongue.
monologue. Just go
No.
back and watch her monologue.
I'm not going to
you
go
wa-
back
do you-
and watch a tongue.
She
When
keeps
someone
sticking-
talks, are you staring inside of their mouth?
I'm really big into teeth, and so I do tend, and lips. I really like lips, so I tend to look at people's mouths. But it was a tick. It was like a nervous tick, and it was irritating me that she kept sticking her tongue out. In her monologue alone, I think she does it 3 or 4 times.
She kept sticking her tongue out?
Yeah.
Thank you
Were
for
you
the
watching
cold open
SNL or
for
were
this
you watching The
podcast.
Joker and The Dark Knight?
It looked a little bit like that, but I'm pretty sure that I wasn't watching
Well,
that.
get the girl some lip balm and leave her alone.
Anyway, thank you for the cold open for this podcast.
Yeah.
What laugh was that? Ah!
That was just sort of like an uncertain business or something. I don't know. What do you think? Want to talk about the opening credits?
Of
And
For
how
what?
I don't know. I just hate the still. Like I like it better when they actually have them doing live action things,
I got
like
sick
that
of that for a
rooftop
while.
party one.
Did you
or
ever
something.
see? Did you
When
ever see?
Keenan high fives the bicycle guy.
Yeah.
Like that one.
Nobody would give Keenan Thompson a high five. Nobody would do that.
I
In
find
America, they would.
it gives an energy to the show, and I get excited. It's like, oh yeah, I hear those people doing all this stuff, and then
But I
they
did-
just use these still images against a black backdrop.
I don't know if you saw this, and it made me unable to not see it from then on, but Tim and Eric did I don't really like Tim and Eric stuff mostly, but they did a parody of those opening titles, where it was just them constantly, like, walking down the street, and then, like, oh, they catch the camera, and they, like, smile a little bit, and it's, like, just the two of them doing that over and over 20 times, and I could never not see that in the SNL opening credits, so I'm kind of glad we're back to still images.
I don't like the still images.
I really like the one they did. It must have been like 10 years ago, where it was like a tour. It was like went through New York City, and they'd be like in Grand Central Station, and like Will Forte happened to be there.
I think that was around the Jimmy Fallon era. Where
I believe so.
There was a subway-focused thing, and the musical guest stage was dressed up like Grand Central Station.
Yeah.
I think they had to drop that one just because when cast members leave and enter in, it's like, okay, now we have to slot them into
the
this
continuity. Oh yeah, because it was like
alphabetical narrative.
It was the cameraman moving in through a subway stop after subway stop or something, right?
Something along those lines.
It was meant to look like one long take, or
yeah, exactly. So
okay.
I find it. I like some momentum to my credits. To my credits.
I think that's about it.
I'll save my thoughts on the theme song for another time.
This has been Analyzing Opening Credits with Matt.
Next week, we talk about Taxi.
The movie?
The
or
movie?
The TV show?
I was thinking of the sitcom.
Let's do both.
All right.
Let's do a compare and contrast.
All right, now let's find
Taxi.
somebody who watched Taxi the movie.
Let's do that as a podcast. We should do a podcast based solely on comparing TV shows, movies, and other media that have the same title.
Oh, I'm trying to think of more examples now. Was there ever a movie called Max Headroom?
I'm not sure.
No.
I don't know.
I'm sure there's a movie called Everything. We would just have to Google it.
There's
a TV show called Everything?
We should do.
You mean everything as in everything, like not like the word everything.
We can compare the
word.
Newsroom on HBO to the Newsroom on CBC.
I think CBC's going to win.
After the first season, yeah.
First season of what?
Newsroom.
HBO though?
Yeah.
Did it get worse after the first season?
Yeah, it got way worse.
What? It already made me stop watching after the first season because it was so terrible.
Yeah, I love me some Aaron Sorkin, and the second season of Newsroom was just devastating.
Well, Leah, maybe we just weren't ready for the truth.
Maybe not. I mean, that could be it.
I mean,
I'm a bit in denial about
when you're getting hit with the truth over and over again, eventually you have to reach a choice of either, just accepting that the world is as these incredible leftists say, or you are a complete denier and ignorant and probably a racist. That's what
Wake
the show
up,
taught
sheep.
us, right? There you go. Sheeple.
I didn't want to say that.
I will. Because that's the truth, Matt. And you can't run away from the truth. We're not just sheep, we're a sheeple.
I could run away, but I've been sitting here for like an hour and my leg is asleep, so...
All right, let's wrap it up then.
Pretty funny.
Are we boring you, Rob?
I just don't know.
I like how angry you... Okay, well, let's wrap it up then.
I'm just gonna... I just don't know how to end this.
All right, let's go out on this.
We've never had a climactic moment in the last 10 minutes.
Do you guys think I could pull off that hat John Hamm was wearing during the Good Nights?
No.
What hat was he wearing?
Like a old-timey cab driver hat.
An old-timey cab driver hat?
How would you describe... There's a name for that kind of hat.
Well, we're asking you because we didn't see the hat.
Oh, you don't study John Hamm nearly as much as I do.
Obviously
not. Nearly as much.
Is it like a Newsies hat? Like one of those,
yes.
An old newspaper boy hat?
I have a framed photo of John Hamm on my wall.
I have one of those hats.
Still going with no.
I'm going to say Matt can't, but I can.
The ultimate diss.
I'm going to say I can, but neither of you can.
I'm going to say that Russell can, and the rest of us shouldn't even consider it.
I'm going to say Russell shouldn't, but he would.
All right, we'll check back next week with the results.
Can we leave this on a cliffhanger?
Thank you, Leah and Matt, for being here. Matthew, which do you like?
Informality on a resume, Matthew. And this in talking, Matt.
I thought your name was Tim.
That's my rapper name.
Oh, right.
And that's it.
Choo-choo, chaboosh. Choo-choo, chaboosh. This is an example of great
Great rap.